Hello, YouTube. Once again, this is Fragments of Memory, and this is another edition of Armchair Philosophy 101. And of course, I'm revisiting a topic that I presented earlier today, and that is the Black Africans versus African Americans. So consider this like the sequel, like part two. Well, anyway, I wanted to respond to someone that gave a really thorough response to my videos. So they left some really good comments. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can look them up. I believe one of them was... Okay, I'm not seeming to get the comments here. I'm kind of maneuvering through this system because the webcam thing is kind of new to me. But this IBM Sony 101, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, talked about how a lot of businesses have to deal with crime in predominantly black areas. A lot of these Asian shopkeepers, of course, move in and are able to fill the void because a lot of the big chains won't go into certain neighborhoods because they feel it's too much of a risk and drives insurance up, and they want to keep their costs down, not have them driven up due to shoplifting and theft and vandalism. So I have to say that again, he made some good arguments. I am humbled enough to at least say you made some good arguments. And as a black person, I walk a tightrope. In a sense, I have to do some kind of mental gymnastics. On one hand, I'm looking at the whole idea of blacks have been stripped of their culture. And I'm not trying to use slavery as a crutch, but it is an explanation. And I don't think that people can, I think it's dismissive, and I think it's wrong for someone to try to dismiss slavery in this country that was done to blacks. I'm sure slavery has happened all around the world, and history repeats that, or history testifies to that truth, excuse me. But what I don't get is this dismissal. And not slavery alone, but then blacks in this country not only went through slavery, but through the horrors of the resistance to the Reconstruction era, to Jim Crow laws, to even today racial profiling by the police. So on one hand, I would have to stand and say blacks born and bred on American soil have been through a lot. Now, on the other hand, I do see that blacks, we seem to be susceptible to crime. We seem to be the ones susceptible to things like crime and disorderly communities. And then, of course, we want to do all our dirt, and the other cultures look at us and see us as nothing but criminals. So my dilemma lies in, I love my people. I love the black man and woman in America. But on the same token, I see the foul things my people do. So I am on that thing because too many times, and I've had discussions with friends, they'll straight tell me if I speak against other black people, if I say this is wrong, I'm a sellout, or I'm thinking like the white man thinks. So, and I'm turning against my people, and so on and so forth. On the flip side, if I say, oh, it's just the white man, then it's like I'm passing the buck. So there is a dilemma that I deal with in that on a daily basis. I find I have to do this sort of mental gymnastics when it comes to my black experience. Because on one hand, I'm a person that was taught not to steal, not to do anything illegal, and for the most part, I don't. Maybe the occasional throw the candy bar on the ground. I mean, littering in that sense, but will I be caught up in a drug deal or vandalizing someone's property? No. Uh, if I don't have it, I can't. I don't have it. I don't try to steal from you. So when I see my black people acting a fool, on what it makes me feel ashamed, and at the same time, it makes me go, "Am I playing into the hands of those that accuse us of being less than moral or less than good. But on the same token, I don't want to speak out against my people or have people believe that I am against black people, because I am not. So that's sort of where I stand on that issue. Now, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not trying to play the, hey, I'm a slave, so that means I should go out and get drunk and get high and rob somebody. It doesn't work that way. And I don't see why people do what they do. Because I've been in them situations. I had a situation in the Galleria Mall. It's a mall where I'm from. I'm from St. Louis, and there was a young black lady, and she was screaming at this Caucasian family, and she was just getting loud and cursing, and I'm just sitting here like, oh my goodness. And it was just so ironic. I was sitting in front of a sushi kiosk with some Asians, so I'm just sitting here. The black girl is clowning, acting a fool, and then all of a sudden, the white family's like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other thing, and then all of a sudden, a white lady in this crowd of white people says, "Why don't you get back on the public transit system and go back to the hood?" Like, wow, it was like, ouch. Like, I was offended, but then on the same token, that girl was acting like a fool. But did the white girl have to go there? So it was kind of like there was that thing. I was embarrassed. But at the same time, I was thinking, why did the white girl have to say she got to go back to the hood? So I was torn. It was that there was that torn thing. And maybe that's something that some of that was born and bred on foreign soil can't understand, or does not understand, or does not have a grasp of. And that doesn't mean I hate you or resent you or have any animus towards you. That's just something that I would like to just think of. That's something that I go through. That's something I like to put in front of you. So I do want to say that you did bring up some good points. That it does seem that every time something go down in that neighborhood, we're the ones behind it, or black folks are the ones behind it. And it seems that we are trying to always get over and run game, and we just can't do things legitimately. Now, I'm not saying that this is the reality, but it appears that way. And unfortunately, what can you do? I mean, if you look at things from an Afrocentric perspective, the pro-black and conscious leaders have even taught, get your house in order, set your affairs in order, get your life in order. Don't be ignorant. Get educated. Have good hygiene. Have good manners. This was taught by Marcus Garvey of the United Negro Improvement Association. This was taught by Paul Nathaniel Johnson from the Fahmy Temples of Islam and Culture. This was taught by Elijah Muhammad of the NOI. Whether you agree with their religious position or their philosophy, that's on you. And I'm not necessarily saying I endorse all of those philosophies, but I am pointing out that there were black leaders like Carter G. Woodson, or not necessarily black leaders, but black thinkers, black leaders saying, get your stuff in order. And there's even black leaders today, and even your pastors of churches and leaders in community centers saying, guys, let's do it. But then there's too many situations where a lot of these young men don't have a lot of young men and young women don't have a guiding light. And then sometimes people just want to do what they want to do no matter what. So I'm torn. I mean, that's the best way I can say it. I feel like as a black man in America, I gotta do it. I walk a tightrope. I walk a very fine tightrope. So that's my 2 cents. And again, I do want to thank IBM Sony 101 for at least commenting and giving me the perspective, giving me some perspectives on the issue. And again, I will say that I can't fault you for how you feel. Well, take care and rate, and just give me your commentary. Thanks.